Cancer, August 2nd. You are not starting from zero. You are checking the scoreboard. You keep looking at what has grown, what has stalled, what still feels unfinished. And your hands do not want to stay still. Seven of Pentacles, this card is about patient assessment, delayed harvest, and measuring effort against outcome. Seven of Pentacles shows you staring at what you built, then staring again because you want proof that the work mattered. You have been checking progress repeatedly. You fixed it. You waited. You came back. You looked again. And now you are asking, was it enough? You knew this already, but the answer is not in rushing the next move. It is in looking honestly at what has actually taken root. The Hermit. The Hermit is about solitude, inner guidance, and wisdom gained through withdrawal. The Hermit says, step back before you talk yourself into noise. You need a quiet room, a turned off phone, a walk by yourself, something that lets your own mind speak without everyone else in it. I'm seeing the pattern. You have been around too much input. Too many opinions, too many little pings pulling you away from your own read. The Hermit is not asking you to disappear. The Hermit is asking you to pause long enough to hear what you already know. The High Priestess reversed. The High Priestess reversed is blocked intuition, hidden information, and inner disconnection. The High Priestess reversed means something feels off and you keep smoothing it over. You see the sign, then you explain it away. You feel the body signal, then you ignore it. You want peace so badly that you are calling uncertainty fine. Actually, no, that is the problem. The High Priestess reversed is telling you the silence is not the same as truth. If something has been withheld, if somebody has not said the full thing, if your first instinct keeps tapping your shoulder, stop and listen before you decide. So the moment is simple, even if your mind is not. Seven of Pentacles asks you to review the growth. The Hermit asks you to step back and get quiet. The High Priestess reversed asks you not to confuse wishful calm with real clarity. You are in a patient phase, but patience is not passive. You are meant to look, measure, notice. Then trust the part of you that has been trying to speak through the static. Don't lie to yourself. If the effort is there, name it. If the results are still growing, let them grow. If the situation feels off, do not force certainty just to stop the discomfort. Cancer, your work right now is not to chase. It is to assess. It is to withdraw enough to hear yourself. It is to stop acting like confusion is the same thing as peace. Cancer, August 2nd. Seven of Pentacles. You keep checking the same thing, same thread, same result. Seven of Pentacles is about waiting, yes, but not waiting blind. It is about looking at what actually grew and asking if the effort matched the outcome. You watered it. You showed up. Now you are staring at the unfinished part and counting what is missing. The work is there. The question is whether it is enough or whether you are still something that is not returning anything real. Page of Swords. You are watching messages, refreshing. Reading the tone twice. Page of Swords is curiosity, but it can turn sharp fast. You want the truth, so you start testing people. Asking a little too neatly. Looking for the crack in the story. Actually, no, let me rephrase that. You are not just curious. You are on alert. You noticed a pattern and now your mind will not let it go. Good. Ask the direct question. Bad. Do not turn suspicion into proof before you have it. The Hermit, you pull back, you mute the group chat, you stop answering fast. The Hermit is not loneliness. It is deliberate distance. You need the noise off so you can hear what your own mind is saying without everyone else in the room. I'm seeing a moment where you choose the quiet on purpose. Walk alone. Sit with the page open and do not touch the phone. This is where the answer gets cleaner, not because somebody explains themselves, but because you stop letting the crowd talk over your own judgment. The High Priestess reversed. Something feels off and you keep stepping around it. The High Priestess reversed is blocked intuition. You know the feeling in your body before you can name it, then you dismiss it because you want peace. That is the trap. You are calling silence a sign when silence can also be avoidance. Hold on. If the facts are thin and your stomach is tight, do not force certainty. Slow down, look again. Ask what is being withheld. The clue is not in the story they gave you. It is in what they skipped. Seven of Pentacles, again, brings the review back to the center. Not every delay means failure, but not every delay deserves more investment either. You have to measure this honestly. What has grown? What keeps stalling? What have you been checking because you are hopeful? And what have you been checking because you already know the answer? The pattern is not new. It just got louder. Page of Swords keeps you alert, but do not let alertness turn into panic. Ask, verify, watch the details, then stop. The Hermit says the clearest move is to step out of the noise long enough to hear yourself think. And the High Priestess reversed warns against pretending you feel calm when you do not. If it feels off, it deserves a closer look, not a dramatic move, a clean one, a quiet one, a real one. August 2nd, Cancer. Seven of Pentacles. You keep checking the same thing, the messages, the timing, the numbers, the effort. Seven of Pentacles is about that slow count in your head where you ask if what you planted is actually coming back to you. Wait. You are not being asked to quit. You are being asked to look at the return honestly. If the work is real, it shows. If the growth is stalled, that shows too. Stop calling delay a disaster. Page of Swords. Now your mind gets sharp. Too sharp if you are not careful. Page of Swords is the part of you that starts reading every pause, every typo, every silence like it is evidence. You start checking the inbox again. You ask the same question in 3 different ways. Actually, no, let me rephrase that. You are not just curious, you are hunting for the truth because something does not line up. That is useful if you stay clean with it. Ask direct questions. Notice the pattern. Do not turn suspicion into a personality. Temperance. This is where the whole thing needs to slow down before it breaks. Temperance is balance, but not the fake kind. Not smiling while you are overloaded. Not forcing peace when your body is still tense. You are mixing too much at once. Wanting answers, wanting calm, wanting proof. Wanting to keep the connection alive. Hold on. You cannot pour all of that into one moment and expect clarity. Temperance says blend it carefully. One step, one choice. One honest conversation, not all at once. The Hermit, then you pull back. You need space from the noise, from the opinions, from the little tests. The Hermit is you turning the phone face down. Walking away, sitting with your own thoughts long enough to hear what is underneath them. This is not isolation for drama. This is withdrawal for wisdom. You are looking for the answer that only shows up when nobody else is talking over it. Let yourself be alone long enough to see what you actually think. The High Priestess reversed, and here is the crack in the floor. The High Priestess reversed means the inner signal is there, but you keep stepping over it. You feel something off, then you explain it away. You see the sign, then you call it coincidence. You want peace so badly, you start treating confusion like clarity. Do not do that. This is the part where silence hides something. This is the part where your body knows first and your mind arrives late. If it feels wrong in your chest, do not rush past it. If the story is too smooth, question it. So this is not about chasing harder. It is about measuring what is real, asking the right questions, and stopping before you override your own knowing. Cancer, your gift here is not just patience, it is discernment. Sit with what has grown. Check what is missing. And when the quiet starts talking, listen. Cancer, August 2nd. I'm seeing the turn now. You stopped pretending the weight was light. You looked at it. You counted it. You realized the ending is real. And the cost has been too high. 7 of Pentacles. You keep checking what you built. You keep looking at the same effort, the same delay, the same unfinished result. 7 of Pentacles is about patient assessment, not blind loyalty. You measured the work, you saw where it grew, and you saw where it stalled. Don't rush it now. Don't call delay a failure just because you're tired of waiting. But also, don't ignore the truth of what is not returned. Page of Swords. You started asking sharper questions. You read the messages twice. You watch the timing. You noticed the gaps. Actually, no, you noticed the pattern first, then you tried to talk yourself out of it. Page of Swords is curiosity, but it can turn into anxiety fast. Ask directly. Check the facts. Do not weaponize suspicion. Do not build a whole story from one silence, but do not dismiss the signal either. Temperance, you tried to balance it. You tried to blend the hard truth with the hope that it would still work out. You slowed your reaction down. You tried to calm the whole situation at once. Temperance is moderation, healing, pacing. It says stop forcing extremes. Stop trying to make the pain and the peace sit in the same hand if they will not fit. Blend carefully, move with measure. Let the truth and your response meet in the middle, not in a panic. 10 of Swords reversed. The collapse already happened. 10 of Swords reversed is the aftermath. You are getting up, but you are still looking back at the floor. You replay the worst conversation. You reread the thing that ended it. You act fine, then you go quiet for hours. This is recovery, but only if you stop reopening the wound. Let the worst be over. Let the ending stay ended. You do not need one more round of pain to prove what already hurt. The Hermit, hold on. This is where you step away from the noise. You shut the notifications off. You sit with your own thoughts long enough to hear what they are saying. The Hermit is not loneliness for the sake of it. It is clean space. It is earned wisdom. You already know what everyone else is going to say. That is not the answer. The answer is in the quiet, where you stop performing certainty for other people. The High Priestess reversed, and here is the block. The High Priestess reversed shows you ignoring the first signal because you wanted peace more than truth. You felt something was off. You dismissed it. You saw the sign and kept going. You told yourself silence meant nothing. It did not. This reversal is blocked intuition, and it gets loud when you keep forcing certainty too soon. Slow down. Question what is being withheld. Trust the body before the excuse. Cancer, this moment is the moment you admit the burden is too heavy. Not dramatic, just honest. You waited, you checked, you questioned. You tried to balance it. Now you see the ending for what it is, and you stop carrying what has already broken. Cancer, August 2nd. I'm seeing the point where the waiting stops being noble and starts becoming a weight you can feel in your shoulders. Seven of Pentacles. You kept checking the same situation, looking for proof that the effort was going somewhere. You counted the days. You counted the texts. You counted what you gave versus what came back. That part is over now, or at least it should be. The lesson is not to stare at unfinished ground until you convince yourself it owes you something. You know what has grown already. You just may not like the size of it. Page of Swords. You got sharp with it. You started reading every pause, every gap, every little change in tone. You refreshed messages. You tested the air. You asked questions that were really questions underneath questions. Hold on. The truth is, your mind was trying to protect you, but it also kept you stuck in the loop. Curiosity helped. Suspicion started running the whole room. Those are not the same thing. Temperance, this is where the system tries to stabilize. You tried to balance it out. You try to be calm, patient, understanding, reasonable. You mixed your own needs with somebody else's chaos and called it compromise. Actually, no. Let me rephrase that. You were trying to keep everything from breaking at once. That is not nothing. But Temperance says, slow down the blend. Stop forcing harmony where the ingredients are already separating. Ten of Swords reversed. This is the ending aftermath. The worst part has already hit, and now the body is trying to get up from it. You may be acting normal while your mind keeps replaying the last blow. You may be pretending you are fine because you do not want to say the word done. But Ten of Swords reversed says the collapse happened. Stop reopening it. Stop checking the wound to see if it still hurts. Of course it hurts. It was real. Ten of Wands. Now the burden shows you carried too much. You answered when you were already maxed out. You held the emotional load, the practical load, the silence, the cleanup, the guilt. You made exhaustion look responsible. Cancer, you were doing the work of two people, maybe more. And the body knows. Heavy arms, tight chest. Low patience. That is what overload looks like when it starts speaking through you. The Hermit. So you pull back, not to disappear, to think, to hear yourself without everybody else in the room. This is the quiet chapter where you stop performing your reaction and start listening for what is actually true. You need space from the noise. You need your own pace. You need one honest moment without all the outside pressure telling you to keep carrying what should have been set down already. The High Priestess reversed, and here is the final turn. You knew something was off before you could prove it. Then you talked yourself out of it. You wanted peace more than certainty, so you ignored the signal. The gut knew, the body knew, the pattern knew, but the mind kept saying maybe, maybe, maybe. Be honest with yourself. The silence was not clarity, it was delay. And now the real work is to trust what you already felt, even if it means admitting the ending is real. August 2nd, Cancer. 7 of Pentacles. You have been checking the same thing over and over. The message is the effort, the silence, the delay. 7 of Pentacles says you are measuring the harvest. You keep measuring against what you wanted, and the gap is what keeps pulling your eyes back. This is not failure. This is the part where you stop staring at the unfinished thing long enough to ask if it is actually feeding you. Page of Swords. Your mind is moving fast and it wants proof. You are reading between the lines, circling back to the question behind the question. You are refreshing. You are testing the story with little questions, looking for the crack. Page of Swords says stay alert, but do not turn suspicion into a full-time job. Ask the direct question. Notice the pattern. Then stop making up 10 more answers before the first one lands. Temperance, you are being asked to slow the whole thing down. Temperance is not about fixing it in one move. It is about blending what is too hot, too sharp, too loud. I'm seeing you trying to calm everything at once, and that is exactly why your nervous system is fried. Balance the pace. Take the middle path. Do not force a quick answer just because you want relief tonight. 10 of Swords reversed. This is recovery after the collapse. 10 of Swords reversed means the worst part has already happened, but part of you is still replaying it like it is happening now. You keep checking the wound. You keep acting fine when you are not. Actually, no, let me rephrase that. You are surviving, but survival is not the same as healing. Let the ending you won't fully name be over. Stop reopening it. 10 of Wands, you are carrying too much and you know exactly what I mean, the load that's bending your back. 10 of Wands shows the load on your back, the obligation, the pressure. The thing you said yes to when you were already maxed out. You are doing too much for too many people and then calling it strength. Stop fooling yourself. Some of that weight is not yours. Put something down. The hermit, this is the step back, the quiet room, the walk alone, the turned off notifications. The hermit says the answer is not in the noise, and it is not in the next text either, just like the balance you keep trying to hold asked you to step back from the rush. You need space to hear yourself think. You need your own pace. You already knew that. Solitude is not punishment here. It is the place where wisdom finally gets loud enough to hear. The High Priestess reversed. Your inner knowing has been getting ignored, and the body has been trying to speak louder. The High Priestess reversed is blocked intuition. It is that feeling that something is off, followed by you brushing it away because you want peace. Hold on. Do not call confusion clarity. Do not force certainty just because silence makes you uncomfortable. Question what is being withheld. Trust the first signal before you talk yourself out of it. So this is simple, even if it is not easy. Step back. Stop carrying what is finished. Let the load come off your shoulders. Let the ending stay ended. Let wisdom lead where anxiety has been driving. Set down what cannot be carried anymore and move with the truth you already felt. Okay. That's all I've got for now. If this hit, you already know what to do. Please subscribe. Tell your group chat. I'll see y'all soon.